Reflected on take and roll with all members of the board are present this afternoon, having a quorum, will proceed. Minutes from the February the 16th, 2024 meeting have been printed, posted, and circulated. Are there any corrections to the minutes? No objections, and the minutes will be taken and approved as posted. We go right into our agenda this afternoon under unfinished business. The water quality testing is first. We got the last results yesterday. They all look excellent as always. So the water system is good, and I've said before, I am so happy that we have been through this whole process, and now everybody else is playing catch up, and we're done. So it's excellent. So, any questions on the water quality? All right. ARP discussion. All the funds that are in our main balance with the ARP is allocated to the utility board. So we use that money when we get down on other projects. But all of the money that's in our ARP account is counted. Right. 5-year plan. Thank you for the update that you did. Last night at City Council, the comprehensive plan was approved. So we will include that 5-year plan in with that document so that the public can view it. We have now received official notification from Senator Manchin's office that we were awarded the one grant, the 1 earmark for the trunk line sewer project in Parkersburg. Because of how messed up the budget process right now is, they only allowed us that one project. No city got more than one. And so we received $1 million to start the trunk line project in Parkersburg. And so the Pond Run project, we have already resubmitted the documentation for it. They asked us, they thought it was a great project. So we've already resubmitted all of that for the next set of earmarks. So hopefully we'll be selected again and we can get that one done. My suggestion is what I would like to have you look into, Mike, whatever you think we need to do, Craig. We have $1 million. All right. Can we get the trunk line from sewer plant to Parkersburg? Not all the way to the sewer plant. Can we get it to Parkersburg? Okay.
Okay.
All right. I have no idea. Let's see what will happen. If we can take that trunk line, increase the size all the way to wherever it crosses into Parkersburg, do you know where the actual pathway of that sewer line is?
Yes.
It runs right down with the railroad tracks.
Correct.
How close is it?
It's actually down in Parkersburg. There's a gravel road adjacent to when we repaired it the last time. It's in the gravel road section.
I know right where that's at. Yep. All right. But that trunk line follows the railroad tracks all the way.
Yes.
Where does it come into the sewer plant in Parkersburg?
Goes down Beaver Way and then
Beaver down into Headworks.
Yeah.
Southeast, southwesterly side. That seemed right.
kind of wraps around the.
Well, anyway, let's see how far $1 million gets us. All right. I'll go have a talk with Tommy and Eric and see if there's any way that when we get into Parkersburg, there might be some kind of grant, joint funding, whatever we can maybe work out with them. Typically, if you can get two cities together that are willing to work on one project, they look favorably on it. And so, but if we can take our $1 million and get us all the way to Parkersburg, then that's what this money's for. Okay? Steve. Thanks. All right. Any questions on the earmark?
We'll say one thing about the main line extension upgrade to Parkersburg. The last year we did install the new pumps at the 12th Street lift station. Been working great. Actually, some of you already know, but, yeah, the electrical, I looked back to electrical use for that particular facility. And a year ago, we was using roughly $2,400 a month electricity. Now we're down about $1,000 a month electricity. So we're saving about $1,200 a month just on electrical use with new pumps. That's pretty substantial. So, and you know, it used to be 3 pumps running, empty the sewer. I call it sewer plant. Now it's very seldom do we actually have to kick on a second pump. One pump pumps the majority of it. So working really well. Really pleased with it.
Is there some procedure that you're doing that will manually turn those pumps on occasionally just to make?
Yeah, it's said on, when I say one pump, I don't mean like pump 1, 3 pumps, 1, 2, and 3, but it does rotate out. Like for a month, one pump will run, then next month it'll kick on to say, okay, pump 2 runs as your lead pump. You get lead, lag, and boost pump, so it rotates out all the way through. So we just don't wear one pump. It does it automatically, or we can do it by manually too.
All right, any questions on that? All right. So we go to item number D, wastewater and wastewater system improvement project.
I know you last time y'all talked about what it take, what's it kind of a order of list to where we start a project now, how long it takes before we get it out the project list and bid. Mike did do a report. It should be on your all's box. So look at it. Kind of breaks down the time frame. If you do it, we approve a project day, how actually long it takes to get it out in the field and completed in reference to rate studies. Okay. We all got a chance to look at that, or
Yeah.
so should pretty detailed report. And it's odd that you look at, you know, start a project March 15th and won't get done until, you know, 1 year, and won't get done until 2 years later. And takes that long to complete a project. So. But that is why we do the 5-year plan. So, or 10 years sometimes. So.
So this is just so that we understand the process, how long it's going to take, but we are not saying that we're going to authorize these today.
No,
Okay, even though we're using today's date as a placeholder.
If you do decide to do a project, whatever we decide to do, it's 2 years later before we got to start paying for it. So.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Just
Gave you the update on the dredging and pond run, 28th Street drainage improvements.
The application was sent in to DEP. It will be probably May before maybe have their list of projects. See where you're ranked.
All right, wells 9 and 10 rehabilitation.
so at the design stage now, Mike.
Yes.
So no go out to bid when.
Oh, I thought it's not next meeting, but the following meeting, the main meeting, we'll have stuff ready. And then, so we'll be ready to June.
Update on the SCADA.
Everything's been submitted and approved. We're getting all the parts together and it should be coming up. So right now, the system's working well. So they're ready. They'll come up and install it, and we'll be doing the water system first, and then the sewer system. So
How long do they think it'll take for the conversion?
it shouldn't take that long. It should go pretty quickly.
A week, a month?
I give it a month, so a month or 2. All depends, but sewer is when it's going to take the time, because they actually have to go out in the field in each lift station and do its electronics.
All right, meter replacement project.
I placed the order 2 weeks ago. I got confirmation yesterday that they will start sending out all the meters upgraded. So receiving it, being 4 to 5 different shipments. We have converted some over already, and once we get the meters sections in, like free up some employees, we'll start going out and pop the tops off the old meters and put the new cellular base antennas on them and good to go. Tommy and I have been working on a series of paperwork, how to do it. Actually, Munilink just come up with a work order program, so they can print off the meters, numbers, addresses, and the guys will go out in the field, change the tops, put the sticker on the paperwork, and come back in. We're getting the girls set up where all I got to do is scan that barcode, and it automatically converts everything over to billing software. So there's no handwritten numbers. So, because it's a series, 15 numbers, 15 letters. It should go really smoothly, just getting the employees to be able to go out and do it. So,
How many meters do you think you'll have on hand in the warehouse before any given time?
first shipment should be around 1,000, 1,500 tops, and we'll continuously ship them out every month after that. So
And we've got $379 per meter,
179.
179, not 379, 179. Okay. So we probably should notify our insurance carrier that we're gonna have a significant amount of inventory here. If someone would happen to break in, or if we have a fire or whatever, we may be able to cover it because our limit may be high now, but Lori tried to remind me to ask Beal and Patton if we need to do that, because if we would have some kind of a problem, we certainly want to cover it. All right? It's only a short time.
Right.
I mean, how long? I mean, it'll be a little while before you get them all switched out.
Yes. That's employee issues.
I know, I got it. I remember when we did it the last time, though, anyway, should be,
It should go really quickly, but just get the employees to go out. I mean, all you gotta do is pop the lid off. You take a punch pin, pop the old top off, undo the wires, undo the antenna, put the new antenna in, put the new top on, put the pin in, you're done, you're done. So you're not changing the whole meter, you're just changing the tops. So, and it's really, it shouldn't take no more than 10 minutes each meter.
okay. Just remind me, let me, I'll read that. Anything else on the meter replacement project? Okay. All right, so now we go to show and tell.
I just realized it's the Ides of March, so that's cool.
If you wore green today, you'd be okay.
Is that what it is? Yeah, just wanted to give you guys an update of where we are on the inventory. For those who have never seen lead service lines, I want to get a picture up there so you can kind of see. They're pretty, when Greg says he doesn't see them out there, it's pretty easy to tell on our side what they look like. Just kind of go back and
Can you see?
Yes.
You don't need to turn the lights out for you?
No, I got it right here.
just want to kind of go back over, how we started with the lead copper rule and where it's progressed now. And we started in 1991. Greg's been testing, I don't know how many places for several years. Have you ever had any kind of an issue?
We've had a couple readings that was abnormal. We tested it and come up clean.
So really, it's just getting that baseline, and in 2021, that's really where we started work on the inventory, and that was when the new rule came into effect. More recently, since we've been doing this, it's just from December of last year, they have added some requirements, or at least made it a little clearer what needs to happen for you guys. This is the updated schedule of what's required. We still have the October 16th deadline for getting the inventory done. There's all kinds of acronyms or initials or whatever in there. But when it's talking about the SL line, that service line inventory, and then lead service line replaces the LSLR. So when we turn it in, there is the next phase will be about 3 years out, and at that time, really, you're going to have your initial inventory. It will be updated based on people are going to be able to look at your inventory and say, this isn't what we think is out there. Go get a hold of Craig, go dig it up and make sure correct it. And we're looking at having a pretty well defined inventory by the time we get to 2027. If we find any lead service lines that you have 10 years to replace them. There's some other steps in there, child care, that's been there, but these new requirements, I mean, the good news is you do have till 2037 to get rid of all service lines. The requirements for the inventory, and of course that's what we're talking about. We have gone through and looked at each of the items that are required. We're to the point now of getting ready to publish it. One thing we need to make sure we do is give the public access, and it has to include the street address. If you find additional lead lines, or if you find that some of the lines we don't know are unknown, you will update that annually. Like I said, if a customer reviews it and says, this is not what it is, you'll have 60 days to go out and confirm it, and if there's changes, you'll break it during the update. Yes, within the 10 years, there will not be any more unknowns. You'll have located everything, confirmed it, and then for any non-lead, which lead is, like it says, everything not lead and also not galvanized under benefits of lead. You do need to validate, and what that really means is looking at your inventory, and if there's unknowns going out, physically laying eyes on them. Validation you have to do two different ways of doing it, do two different points on the line. Probably the easiest way to do it is the visual inspection, potholing. You can do that either excavate or hydro excavate. You can also go in inspections, or you can go inside the building and actually take a look at what is coming in through the wall. This is really the requirement that you have to meet is in 10 years is replacing all. See if there's anything really other than it has to be done in 10 years. So I know a lot of the questions have been, okay, what happens on the customer side? So, and I thought this was pretty good. They discussed that, what the under control is. Of course, West Virginia, you don't have the right to go in and do anything on that side on private property. But if we still need to be able to go in there and see what it is. If the customer just says no, you have to make a minimum of 4 attempts, and it has to be 2 or more approaches. So it's knocking on the door and then following up with a phone call. There has to be 2 ways that you try to get a hold of the people and get consent to go on the property. So actually getting into what we have done and looking at our initial inventory, again, we're looking at 2 different sets of data, one being the public side, one being the private side. So fortunately for you guys, you already had your GIS information in there. So all we were doing is going back and looking and adding some information on the service lines. Some of the things we were looking at to start off with was the building age. And if it was after 1988, we were sure that it would not be lead lines there. We reviewed the building permits, which it was good that you guys had kept all those records, and it helped identify several more. There was customer surveys sent out and responses, and then employee interviews. As I said, I talked a little bit about there was 4 designations when you look at them. There's lead service lines, there's non-lead service lines, galvanized that are basically downstream of any lead lines, and then anything that's unknown.
Galvanized under the influence of lead. That just means that somewhere between the water source and the end point, there's a lead pipe.
Yeah, if the city had a lead service line that they replaced and the customer had galvanized, you have to treat it as lead also. And looking at the building age identification, use really the Wood County Assessor's websites. Also looked at the building permits. From the information that we could find, there's 536 houses that were excluded based on this. There's different ways that you all were trying to get, like the picture there.
Thanks.
Glory days.
Yeah.
Did you get information to use your name? This is like, name, likeness, and image. Jeez. I don't know what I'm looking at.
Not for me. It's just sad.
But the guys went out and asked the public to review and respond. There were no lead lines found. There's PVC, copper, which were the most prevalent. There were 10 that they were unsure about. I think, Greg, you guys went out and confirmed those. There were some that were concerned about their own water system. But again, we were able to take out another 500 plus.
Do you have any more pictures of Coach Belichick over there?
Then some of them, based on that information, if we looked at if a home was built at the same time, same contractor, same subdivision, if one wasn't, you could assume that subdivision wasn't. So we did do that, and it helped us move almost 1,000 more just based on that information. And then interviews, I said, Buff.
What do
Whatever
they
you
know?
guys are.
What do they know?
Yeah, well, they didn't know of any. It was
They're
amazing.
they're amazing up there.
They knew of none in Vienna, so that was good. That's nice. But there was no known service lines. Everything has been replaced. We're 99% sure, Greg, you're 100% sure.
Yeah, we're going off that because when we did the meter project, when we did pigtails or tied the meters in, we did not see or indicate any type of lead service lines at that time. Fortunately, we did 10 years ago, so it was kind of ahead of the game. But we'll still have to go out and do a couple more just to make sure. So, in pigtails, you got 3 foot outside the beer box. That's what we used to do. Same as Parkersburg. And we did not find any lead lines at that time. Unknown.
And then it was assumed too also that the 3/4 inch lines, which were most of them, were non-lead also. So the results really were down to well over 200 homes that we're going to say are unknown. And those are the 1/2 inch service lines. Sorry, of 1/8 inch service lines that could possibly be lead or galvanized. So those will be the ones that will be the focus going. So for our next steps, we have put together a letter report really just that says what we did and how we got there, so that if anyone ever said, where did this come from, you'll be able to point to that. You guys will just update the GIS with the results. Again, we talked previously that possibly being able to print out a copy and put it at the public library, which is what our thoughts were, and then eventually submit it to the state. We'll actually submit then to USEPA. Just any questions?
Just to keep in mind, this report's not due to October. I asked Mike, I want this report and turn in as soon as we can, in case there is an issue with it. I don't get caught waiting until the middle of October, say, oh, here it is, all it's wrong, and we're in violation. So I prefer to get it just turned in now. And if there's an issue with it, they can respond back and say, hey, you need to correct this, get a violation. So, and we will, like I said, keep monitoring the 202 that's left, and go out and start doing some digging or confirmation with people's houses, knock on the door. And we can do it at the same time as when we're setting some meters. Okay, while we're out in the field.
I'm assuming these 202 are just randomly.
Are all of them.
Yeah.
Most of them's lower in town.
But,
That's your older subdivisions at the lower end.
What?
That's the older subdivisions at the lower end.
Yeah.
Right.
There's some 40. There's certain older houses up around town we need to check out too. So majority of them's down below. That's the ones we couldn't mark off just because of the age of when it was built. Pretty confident on it. Okay, so. All right.
any other questions, Mike?
All right. Okay with it?
Yeah.
We're going to submit it.
You looks great. Yeah, you will fix the pub, right?
I will do that, yes. The P and the V are right beside each other on my keyboard.
They're not even close.
That finger it didn't.
Yeah.
That's exactly what.
Got my left and right mixed up and down.
Okay. All right, that brings us down to the manager's report.
A couple of things. Everything's going well, and we're still down 4 employees. I made some reports on reference to pay raises and grades, and there's some things that will be changing here in the future. Randy and I spoke earlier, talking about changing some difference in classifications of employees, separating them out from the rest of the city, that kind of stuff. But we're going to be working on that in-house. First, I want to say thanks to council, mayor, for what they did last night. They did offer us a pay raise, $2.65. I wish $1.65 an hour plus 35-cent longevity. So, in May over a year, we'll get a $2 an hour pay raise. So that does bump our starting wages up $1.65. So it gets it up there in the $17 range, which is good for us.
It's actually factored in $2. Okay.
I understand. Okay, so
It will put us higher than most.
yeah, and I still don't understand that part because I don't, if you, I just talked to Amy last night. I said, if you give a starting person $2, it actually puts them up higher than what a guy's been here for. A couple of guys been here for the last 10 months.
It only affects one guy.
Two, Kimberly and so they have 3 actually, but it doesn't matter. Okay, we'll work through that. I understand that'll get resolved one way or the other. So, like I said again, I do appreciate $1.65 an hour pay raise plus the 35-cent longevity for the guys that have been here. But most of you know me, I'm never satisfied with anything. So I'm down 4 employees. And like I said to council, I got possibility of 4 additional employees leaving this coming year. And a couple of them are class 2 operators. We did look at the reports today from Question your water, see how many job postings they have. They actually have 11 job postings for Class 2 operators. So everybody's looking for them. Okay. So we are too. But in order to do this, in order to bring people in, I'm asking my representatives on this board, council and person and Randy to go, and I want you all to consider it and maybe have a special meeting, is to go ahead and put this pay raise in place. Okay. Reason I'm asking that, because if I post it back out there, I won't be able to offer the higher rate of pay until 1st of July. So I'd rather go ahead and put it in place now, so when I post a job, someone sees that job posting, they don't see the $14.67, they see the $17 something. Hopefully we'll get a better response than what we have in the past. We have run this ad in Facebook for 5 weeks now. I've had 3 applications turned in. Okay. So we have the money in the budget in water and sewer, and we also have the money in streets, because being 4 employees down or 3 employees most of the year, 4th will just come up later. I have that kitty, so I have the funding for that. So again, I'm asking, I can't do official because it's not on agenda, but I'm asking the 2 representatives I have here, go to council, hopefully go ahead and issue the pay raises to my department. And I'll have to come back to you all and put it on an agenda, make it an item so you all could approve it also. Okay.
So Greg and I had a conversation about this earlier today. And I did go back to Amy and ask, and money is there.
Yep.
Don't tell me the exact amount, but
Right.
4 people are built in. There's some unique problems with this though. All right. Water and sewer come out of the enterprise.
Right.
Street department, stormwater come out of the general fund. All right. Now, we as the utility board can authorize this to pay the guys that work in water and sewer.
Correct.
Done. We can do that. All right. Problem with it is it has to go back to council to ask council to approve it for the stormwater and the street department. Now, this thing has to be for every one of Craig's employees. It can't be just part, because that's just not a good situation. All right. But I also wanted to take it one step further. You know, we've had lots of conversations about water and sewer operators, and there are some special. I mean, if you can get a water or sewer license, you basically got a college degree, because it takes that long to be the classes and the training and all that stuff. And so, for me, I would like to see water and sewer operator classifications be separated out from the normal rate structure that we have. We'll just design a whole new platform to do that. It won't be like an S1 or S2, you know, it'll be some other designation. And then those guys that are willing to put in the time would be in a different category. And so in that conversation that we had, there are some other people that work up here in this division that have equally specific jobs that would be very difficult to replace these people overnight. They just aren't. And so at some point, I will be back to you all to say, this is the structure that we think will work, and we designate these employees to the higher grades and just have a separate classification for them.
Job descriptions.
Job description, okay? But back to the original thing with, you know, installing the pay raise now, we did the police department because we had a hiring issue. And so when we increased the police department's pay by $2.88 an hour, it went into effect immediately. Or instantly, we got fantastic results. It was.
It had great results.
I mean, we do a civil service test and get 3 people. The last one, I think we have 20.
Yeah.
So if we can go ahead and put that pay raise in now for the entire public works department, that will allow that option to take place much sooner. Hopefully it will pay dividends. You know, we're already into March, so April, May, and June are the only 3 months left in this fiscal year. We haven't started our budget process yet.
No.
So we can make allowances for that. That's, you know, get to that part. Okay? So,
Two things. One, you got quality officers out of it too. You didn't just get, you know, it wasn't just guys off the streets. You got quality police officers, which means you got quality applicants. But the second thing is, what do you do about employees that have the cross designation? You have some that are paid part-time out of sewer or out of the general enterprise.
It has to be approved.
You got to do both.
Places.
You have to do both of
We have
them,
to do
or
both.
it's going to be exceptionally difficult to do the accounting for the payroll.
We have to do both.
Well, I mean, you could, but it's going to
well,
be
it has
ridiculous.
to be everybody.
That's why I'm asking if we could put it on the agenda. If I get support to put it on the agenda for council, they approve it, we could have a meeting here, utility board. You all could approve that same structure, and it'd go in place same time.
And one, you could make a contingent one upon the other's approval, so that you don't end up in a spot where one approves and one doesn't.
Well, if council doesn't approve it, doesn't do that much
It's a
good
moot
for us to approve it here. So, the council, if I get on the next agenda for council, then I can have a special meeting with you all, and you all could approve or not. And then, yeah, you're right. I could that time I'd have to go take council and say contingent upon utility board approving it also.
Right.
Hopefully, I got enough confidence in you all to wouldn't turn that down, would you?
I don't think there'll be any
Yeah.
hesitation on the council's part on this. And they realize the value and how hard your guys work, okay?
I'd hope.
And when I say your guys, I should say your employees, because, you know, half of your building's run by ladies anyway, so.
Yeah.
It's all of them. It's not just a matter of that. But having said that, if there would be something that council had reservations about, I still want to move forward with water, sewer, and the other specified jobs.
Right.
Simply because, I mean, that's just it. I mean, they're just that valuable.
I agree, and that should be, and that has to do with the basis of the upcoming budget too. I have to have their numbers put in place for that budget item, so that'll be done. So,
Well, I just want the rest of the board, because it takes your all's decision to vote this. I mean, we have our own separate funds. We can do
Right.
whatever we want. But I just want you to understand that no matter what happens, the other thing, I would still like to move forward with water and sewer and
said I have a buildup of money in the payroll because of lack of employees I've had for this past year. I would have enough to cover them 3 additional employees or 4 different employees, plus the pay raise for the guys for the rest of the year.
So if I understand what you're saying, and I support this, that's not a question, but you're talking about starting a raise 3 months in advance of when it would start, July 1st, right? And
correct.
just for your water, sewer, and, you know,
no, that'd be everybody.
up here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But not in streets. I understand that, but not everybody else, not parks, not the people that work. So I'm going to tell you that is going to create a bunch of problems with people, because you're going to have employees that are going to say, well, these guys up here, they're getting their raise early, and we're, you know, well, we work in the office too. And I think that it just kind of creates a situation that's going to be unfortunate. So I'm curious if we can find out, if we lift everybody up at the same time and avoid that problem altogether, what that impact on the budget would be, in the general fund budget.
I agree. I understand what you're saying, but right now I'm concerned about. I'm the only department down 4 individuals. Everybody else is fully staffed. So
I completely
I have to
agree.
be concerned about this department itself. And I like the guys with the parks, and they do a great job, but I have the money. I know I have the money in my budget. I have suffered the year without 3 employees, and I don't know anybody else has done it. We did it. The council has done it for the police department, and I know that, and that's why we're here about the pay raises now, because we felt the injustice before the rest of us. But
Hey, I'm on your side.
know,
I
I'm just-
believe you. I'm just telling you
I gotta
what
worry
the
right-
problem is going to
yeah,
be,
yeah.
what the argument is going to be. If you want this thing to fly,
Right.
we need to kind of figure that out ahead of time. I mean,
Right
know,
now,
We
I'm
had
concerned
that
with this.
discussion. Oh, yeah, I didn't figure it out. There is no solution to that.
how you figure out?
I mean, honestly, there's gonna be some hurt feelings over this thing.
No.
There is, I mean,
Well,
I don't think she's saying that. I see saying, how do you figure out, you just calculate the numbers for everybody.
Yeah, like
Calculate-
everybody
I'm
got
in
to.
favor
Yeah.
of everybody getting it,
No, I understand.
okay?
Yeah, it'd be great if you could do that. Okay. So-
I didn't hear what you said, Mayor. What'd you say?
I am not in favor of doing it citywide. He made a statement just right there that covers it. He's been down, this department up here has carried itself down 4 employees. I mean,
I think I'm not expressing myself very well. What I'm trying to say is that I'm curious if you did it citywide for April, May, and June, 3 months, that's all we're talking about, and then those raises kick in for everybody July 1st. What does that cost? Because it may not be worth the problems that it's going to cause with everybody else if there's money in the budget. We're approaching the time where there's going to be the carryover, there's extra money in the budget. I don't, Amy has an idea of that. I don't have an idea of that. I'm curious as to if there's money to raise everybody now to stop so that we don't create a lot of hard feelings with the employees.
and that's an issue. We need to do whatever we can to avoid that.
Mhm.
Craig, I need some number. But how many employees do you actually have?
30.
So we got 30, well, there's 80 in the city. You got 30 of them. And the increased pay raised the budget $159,000. Okay, so.
For the year.
What you're thinking.
So you're
Cap,
saying
we
30
got- we have
employees at $2 an hour
$159,000 that we're
is-
gonna spread out over 80 people. Okay,
For
Yeah.
the year, you only gotta take 3 months, so.
Yeah.
that's an easy thing. It's a
Right.
fourth,
Yes,
okay?
that's correct.
All right, so, logistically, if you got $150,000 to go to 80 employees, all right, then what's that 3-month window?
Talking about $40,000.
Yeah,
I mean, to me, that's avoiding the problem. That's going to
And
be.
if you can do
a
that, it's
big deal.
great. And if there's something, if you have to take, I'm pretty heavy on my department on payroll, but if
I
you
mean,
need to take someone to supply their department.
It's roughly
Yeah,
there.
$30,000, right? Because you
Yeah.
got FICA and
Yeah.
the other stuff.
No, I took 159.
Oh, yeah, I see what you did and did it for.
Divided by 4.
Yeah,
It's
That
40,000.
pot's not there.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
But
It's a
if this
$40,000
department can help
solution.
the parks out, if they're short, if they don't have it in their budget and I have extra $80,000 in my budget to cover, if I have extra 80 after my pay raise go in effect, and if I got $80,000 set in payroll and they need it,
Yeah, well,
do it.
The utility board money you can't do that.
No, I can't do that, but that
But if
would,
you have it
I still
streets
got
or
a street
something,
department and stormwater, and please take it and pay for their salaries, pay for their pay increases.
Right. Because last night, what we learned
Yeah.
with the 35-cent longevity, the $1.65, and then you add all the payroll taxes, the FICA, and all that, and the pension and everything. That number was 159 and some change.
Yeah.
So 160 divided by 4, 40,000. That's what we're approximately talking about
Yeah, that's just-
citywide. I mean, I think that.
I'm just saying, I don't want to hold this department up because of other departments, okay?
No.
But if I can help the other departments, please take it and do it, so.
I mean, you'd have to do a special, because the $1.60, it's not $2, it's $1.65, 35 cents of its longevity. So you'd actually have to have a 3-month increase at $2
Yes. Yeah.
to get to where you're at. But it sounds like a $40,000 problem.
Please, I just wish we all talked about in council, put it on the agenda, that'd be great. And if we can help in any way, we will do it. But this department is a priority to me at this time.
Yeah. Whenever the mayor wants to do it, I think put it on council.
Well, I don't think for that amount of money, I don't think the fight's worth it.
I-
Okay, everybody works hard, so, but we'll see what the exact number is.
Right. I agree. I
Okay.
think. It
But
makes
at any rate, I just, Craig wants to do that. I think it's got some validity to it. I wanted to put my suggestion out there about other classifications because we do need to find a way to separate them out.
And we're kind of already ahead of the game on that because Stephanie and I has been working on that for a couple of years. So getting that separation of that. So we should be, I'll sit down with Steph. We'll rewrite a couple of job descriptions actually we write all of them for this department and should be all right.
So all you're doing is creating a new category W,
Just separate
1, 2, and then a pay scale that attaches to it.
What happens is we got S through 7 and C through 5. Okay, so C is your secretary position, S is your labor positions. And right now, S1 here is the same as S1 at Parks, and S2 here is the same as S2 at Parks. Well, we ran into that issue before, and Steve will agree, is S2 at his department doesn't do the same qualifications as mine. Okay? They got their own jobs, they got to do the pools, stuff like that. Ours do sewer line repairs, water line repairs, and job description needs to be wrote for each one. It should be, it said S1 being across the board for every department. It should be PW1. Or
So you're doing, you wanted to rewrite all
Parks and P1 and that kind of stuff for the parks.
Yeah.
And that's the way job descriptions will be different.
and you want to rewrite all of your
Yeah, I
scale.
think it does need to be done. And as we do what Randy was talking
Okay.
about the one, so.
So let's just do a word of caution here, okay?
Hmm?
Mr. Hunt, for everybody. You have to understand, there has to be some differences between the job skills,
Oh, absolutely.
all right?
Right. That's where job description goes in place.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, that's the discussion points that we'll bring up again. The thing with the raise though has to be done now, because the clock's ticking.
Yeah.
Okay, and we won't take it up at the next council meeting. The next council meeting is for the approval of the budget. So it will be the one after that. And
Couldn't put it on the same agenda?
hope you do the budget.
That's it, huh?
Yes, sir. Okay. We could, I mean, if there's
It's
consensus.
not a
we
special
could do it.
meeting, is it? Is it a
It's the
special
budget.
meeting? Is it, I mean, is
It's
it a
It's
special
budget
meeting?
For the year,
Right.
yes.
But is that a special meeting or a special night or is that a regular night?
It'll be the,
Last night was the regular council.
Yeah,
meeting,
last night was
So it'll
regular.
be a special.
yeah,
If
no,
it's
that's
next
right.
Thursday.
And then you have a week after you have regular council.
Yes,
Yeah, that'd be
28th will be
fine.
the next one.
I knew you couldn't do it on a special one, so
We do it on
Okay.
the 28th. We can do it on the 28th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was looking for sponsors. That's what I'm doing. So,
not sponsored, honestly.
And-
I mean,
you two sponsor?
Absolutely.
if the numbers work out,
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I mean, I think, I would have
That'd be
brought it up
nice.
to talk about it, I didn't think I'd support it, but, you know, I just want, you guys have a voice in this too.
Yeah, because I have to come back to you.
And so if it,
We're not taking a vote or anything.
No, we're just asking for sponsors.
Just general discussion about what we're going to
If
put
you
on
have
the
any
agenda.
different opinion, please express it now.
so the following day is that Good Friday.
Thank you, Joe,
Very-
I was
that's-
trying to.
Very diplomatic.
2 weeks.
So what I'm getting at, if it goes on it flies on the 28th, and we can have a special meeting, but the following day I think is Good Friday, that would be a holiday, right? So you don't get off. I mean, I'm just thinking how we can expedite this, and so that by April 1st, call me Governor Justice. I got 3 dogs with names, maybe this and maybe that.
You
but-
know, we had it at one time. We did have Good Friday off one time. Parksburg gets it off. See, we're kind of pride. Parksburg gets it off. But we get a lot of holidays they don't, so. I'm not gonna-
Several.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
won't go any farther.
Yeah.
So we could meet in a special meeting of this board the following day, if it,
On Good Friday,
to approve it here, if it flies with council.
I would,
We've got a lot of people taking Friday off.
yeah, I don't want to do it that day. I got several staff members myself. I would rather do it the following week or whatever.
Okay.
I don't think it would affect anything if we had to wait.
Okay,
Well,
so
it
that,
won't have any effect on this year's budget because
No.
funds would come out of this year's budget,
Right.
you know, from some line item. So that would not affect, and it won't affect the future budget because
Because
it's already built in.
Right.
Yeah. And you've got the money available because
I do.
you've not been paying for employees
3 majority of the year. but
Well, you
also
know,
one in February.
3.
I appreciate the help. That's all I have. Everything else is going pretty well. We're just getting that weather. We did have a situation down on 14th Avenue and 12th Street. We had a sewer line that went through another individual's yard. He was going to build a garage. So I had to go down to reroute the lady's sewer out to the street and back down to out to 14th Avenue, back down to 12th. So got that resolved. In the old days, I mean, you had a garage apartment and you had a house, and then lots get split, and then you get the same sewer line. So we've dealt with quite a few of them. So we got that taken care of. Making taps. On a lot of taps lately.
Did we get it right away for the new line that you put in?
We have
In writing,
which one?
what you just did?
No, it's on our right of way now. That's why I had to take it back out the street on our right of way and down to.
So I went down and looked at that yesterday. Okay, do we have a right of way for that?
We don't need a right of way. We have a right of way in our street. We put it on street property, right of way property.
That's a long line right there.
It was. It's approximately 140 feet, so I had to redo.
Questions for Craig?
The 2 right-of-ways that I sent you, were you square with those?
Yeah, Mr. Randy's gonna take one, have him sign. Mr. Palmerinke, he's in Florida at this time. I got an appointment with him next Thursday. He's gonna come in and sign it. Tommy notarize it, and I'll get it back to you, and we'll record it.
You need anything else from me?
No, sir, I do not. So,
Joe? Steve? Tom? Kim? Right over you, didn't I? Geez, you said too close to Craig. Russell?
I'm fine.
Lori? Okay. Well, you get German.